Hi, my name's Tommy. I'm the person behind the black metal project Order of the Wolf from Scotland. I originally began this project as a vehicle for self-expression, an outlet for my struggles with crippling mental illness, a place where I could express my innermost darkest thoughts without fear of judgment. This project allows me to channel emotions I previously felt I couldn't in other bands, and while it continues to be a medium of catharsis, it quickly evolved into so much more than that. Not only is this project a therapeutic release, it's a project of resistance against bigotry of all kinds. Black metal has always been a problematic genre. Everyone knows that. By this point, most people are aware of its sordid history. I've been a fan of this music for the best part of 2 decades, and thankfully I learned early on that it wasn't without its issues. I discovered early on that if I found new bands or labels, a little homework was mandatory. Unfortunately, this continues to be the case. During my time as a fan of black metal, I thought I'd seen and heard everything, but sadly that isn't the case at all. Since starting Order of the Wolf, I've learned that it's still a genre infested with some of the nastiest, scummiest people to exist on this planet. There are still a plethora of national socialist black metal bands out there spreading hateful rhetoric to hordes of fans who eat up every sort of thing they have to say for themselves. There are still a myriad of labels funding these bands. There are still promoters and venues giving these terrible people platforms to spread their vile message. NSBM is a nasty symptom of a nasty disease, and we must no longer tolerate it, or the people who support it. There is no room for fascism in modern society. There never was, and we must do everything we can to fight this abhorrent disease. As someone who has actively protested NSBM and white power shows and tours, I've come in contact with a number of neo-Nazis, fascist sympathisers, and honestly, just some of the worst people I've ever encountered. I've received hate mail, I've received death threats, I've received threats of violence and sexual violence against my family. I've had people try to hack my social media and email accounts. I've had people try to cancel me, and honestly, while at the time it was stressful and scary, it's ultimately laughable. If these people put as much energy into positive change in their lives, maybe there would be a slither of hope for them. I've used my experiences with NSBM fans, bands and labels as a loose example of the type of hate that festers within subsections of society worldwide. We all know that fascism runs so much deeper than within the murky waters of black metal, but I think this speaks to what I mentioned before. They're all part of a much bigger institutional problem, and as anti-fascists, as leftists, as anarchists and as activists, these are the type of people and organisations we will continue to encounter, and we must refuse to ever stand down. We must resist them at every single turn. We must revolt against bigotry in any and every way we can. In closing, I want you all to know that as a human being, and therefore as a band, I will always stand against fascism, racism, homophobia, transphobia, sexism, misogyny, ageism, ableism, and all other forms of bigotry and discrimination. Whether I'm writing about mental illness, my cats, or conservative government, this band or any other project I'm involved with will always hold these values. In the words of my dear friends at Make That Take Records, be radical, spread joy.